Grand Rising, my people. Grand Rising, my people. I know I'm a little earlier than normal. I'm not planning on being on here too long. I hope I'm not on here too long. Oh boy. Grand Rising. I'm not gonna try to be on here too long. I want to kind of like just jump on it real quick, okay? So listen. So check this out. Yesterday was kind of interesting, right? So if y'all noticed, for the past couple days, I haven't really put out a video. Haven't really been feeling it again. Like I tell y'all, I try to put out at least a video a day, but I just haven't been feeling it. I have to put it out as I feel it. I just can't put out a video a day because that's what I said I would do. My spirit will have to tell me to do that. So, past few days, I haven't been feeling too well on the spirit level. You know what I'm saying? And I knew it was some work that needed to be done because of the way that I was feeling internally. And it wouldn't allow me to get on and make a video for the past couple days. So I apologize for that. But nonetheless, I fixed that problem because what I did was, for me, I just grounded myself. That's all. Lately, that's what I've been doing is I've been grounding myself. So you just take off your shoes and go walk in the yard. That's all. You just ground yourself. You know what I'm saying? Get rid of some of that anxiety. Some of that negative energy that you might have. You know what I'm saying? You kind of ground yourself out, mellow yourself out. But nonetheless, yesterday was all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of glad that I did the little work that I did. But I'm gonna tell you something. Yesterday was all right. Nah, it was quite warm yesterday, so I went back there in the backyard to do a little work and do a little work behind the backyard as well. And so, I've been thinking about, Junior forever. You know what I mean? It's like there isn't a day go by where that boy isn't running through my mind daily. You know what I mean? And so, yesterday, I was in the backyard and I was cleaning up behind the dogs yesterday. And as I was walking in the backyard, it was a butterfly, okay? It was a butterfly that was floating so close near me that you almost had to swipe it away. And when I went to do that, I seen there was a butterfly. I didn't swipe it away. It's like when I got in that backyard, that butterfly followed me from it was like it wouldn't stop following me. Now, for y'all that don't understand what that means, you know what I mean? Like them butterflies, pay attention to them butterflies. On the spirit end, pay attention to those butterflies because they say something. When you see those butterflies in your path, if you walk past a butterfly, that typically is a spirit meaning. There's a spirit meaning behind that typically. And so that's what I did. Now, this butterfly right here was like a yellow and black with black trim. It was a big butterfly. What I did was I recorded it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show y'all what I recorded and how I was amazed at it because I'm gonna tell you this butterfly was in my face. It was like it was walking with me, and the first person I thought about was Junior. So not only that right there, the butterfly went inside the dog pen that I was cleaning out at the time, or was about to clean out at the time, as if it was trying to help me. And I knew it wasn't nobody but Junior because, see, here's the thing. When I go back there in that backyard and clean up, Junior is back there with me every year. This is the first year he hasn't been back there, with me physically. You know what I'm saying? So typically, Junior is with me when we go back there and clean up that yard. He know the tools to get everything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was just so many things that was going on beforehand because, see, his sister wanted to help, and his sister wanted to be just as much of a help to me as he was, and I could see that, but she was too clean. And, that wasn't nothing that I ever, the type of weight, I wouldn't put that up on her. I put that on her brother. And the fact that he not there to do it, she tried to help, but I couldn't allow her to help. So I said, forget it. Go ahead, grab the rake. She went back there in the back, and it was at that point when I seen her standing next to the rakes where I knew I had my work cut out for me because she was still looking for the rakes. You know what I'm saying? But that's not her fault. That's not her fault. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not her lane. She ain't back there with all that stuff. She don't work with that stuff. And then at that point is when it hit me that this is not Junior. You gotta do that all over. You gotta if you're gonna teach her, you gotta teach her all over. This is not Junior. See, Junior knew all that stuff. He was hands on, down pack, like he knew everything. He knew where to get it. He was on point. But I gotta do a little work with her. Nonetheless. So some time later, I'm still thinking about Junior because that's when it hit me. And while I'm thinking about Junior, like I said, that butterfly just came floating by, right? So what I did was, y'all, I recorded this butterfly. And this butterfly, typically, you can't catch a butterfly. I don't care, if you ain't not barehanded, for real. Now, I don't know if it's just this species of butterfly or if, I don't know if it's just this species of butterfly or it's just what I'm telling y'all it is. You know what I mean? I believe it was Junior. I'm trying to get to my camera, y'all. My bad. So I can show y'all this video. Okay, I got it. Now, y'all gonna have to look in really deep on this right here. Let me see. Because this sign is in the way. And it's not really allowing, so y'all gotta excuse me. I'm going up under the steering wheel so y'all can see me. Let me see if I can turn this camera around. Okay, look. Now the butterfly followed me, but I didn't catch it while it was following me because I couldn't get to my camera in time. So this is the part that I did record. I ain't never had a butterfly do this to me before. It flew past me and everything. Then it went down and started doing, drinking water. Now I'm back here cleaning up behind the dog. So I'm back here with the dog. You can see the dog house and the little poopy right there. But this butterfly just sitting there. It ain't moving. Nothing. It's just there. Pardon the poop. What's going on? And I'm right here. I'm just standing right here. Look, I'm zoom out for a minute. Oh, that's zooming in. So I'm right here. Let me see. That butterfly just came and it just sat right there. And it's just moving. Okay. I ain't never had a butterfly do this right here. Let me see what happens if I try to grab it, if it's gonna float away. Like I'm still walking towards it. I never had a butterfly do this. I've never had a butterfly do this. Ever. Let me get that close to it. I ain't gonna touch it. I never had that. Look how close I am on the butterfly. Wow. That's amazing. This butterfly right here. Okay, so now that right there is what I was talking about with the butterfly. Now we gonna fast forward because it's gonna get a little better. You know what I mean? So I'm back there. I clean up the dog pen, right? Everything is good, right? So later on, I goes to look up what that means. So I'm gonna take y'all through that right there as well. This is just something that I did yesterday, y'all. I went up and I looked up yellow and black butterfly, which is, hold on, let me turn around again. Which is this one right here. This right here is what we seen, right? And they call it a tiger snowtail. Is a large, showy butterfly with bright yellow wings, black stripes. It's the only yellow butterfly in New England with vertical black stripes and tails on its hind wings. And I'm sitting up there like, New England, I seen this in my backyard. So what does it mean when you see a yellow and black butterfly? I hit it. Seeing a yellow and black butterfly such as tiger snowtail is often associated with symbols of transformation, hope, and new beginnings. Yellow is seen as a bright positive color. Yellow is seen as a bright positive color, representing joy, warmth, abundance, while black, as a power color, can symbolize strength and protection. Together, they can signify duality of life, the balance of light and dark, the journey through change and rebirth. And then they go to break down some of that stuff, like the power and strength, like it gives you a whole rundown of what this right here butterfly mean. Okay, so let me see. It was another one on there. Oh man, my bad, y'all. Let me see. Go back. Let me go back. It was another one on here. Let me see. It was another breakdown on here I wanted to show y'all. Let's say connection to the divine. They say butterflies are also seen as messengers from the spiritual realm, connecting you with the divine and guiding you to life's path. See, a yellow and black butterfly can be a sign that you are aligned with your spiritual purpose and that you are being supported on your journey. Okay, well, I can agree with that right there. You know what I'm saying? I can agree with that. It's hope and new beginnings. Yellow is associated with optimism, hope, and new beginnings. Seeing a yellow butterfly can be a reminder to trust the process of change and to look forward to positive outcomes. Okay, so which is pretty much what I've been doing. Okay, that's pretty much what I've been doing. I've been, like I said, I've been working at that right there. Myself. That's been something that I just been working on because I wouldn't have known what that meant had I not been, trying to do the work. And like I said, when you're doing that work, sometimes you gotta separate yourself from people, not because you mad, not because you got any issues, but you need that right there, right? So let's fast forward. So now we in the house. Now, since that happened, it was like I was feeling good. Now I've been thinking about this boy all week long. Even the couple days that I didn't do my videos because I wasn't feeling too well, I was still, thinking about him. And so yesterday, I was sitting in the dining room at my house, and we had company over, and one of the pictures, this right here was funny to me. One of the pictures on the wall. Now, mind you, the other day ago, I showed y'all a picture. I took a picture of a little small memorial corner that we got for Junior. Now, I didn't show y'all the bigger pictures that we have that came from his service. We took those pictures and we kind of lined them up in the front room around the walls and stuff, right? So when you walk in, that's all you're going to see is Junior. As soon as you walk in, that's all you're going to see is Junior. I'm letting you know that right now. So you walked in, we seen all the pictures. Now, I didn't really keep in mind in what order these pictures was. And I say that for a reason. Because one of those pictures fell. Mind you, there was no wind in the house. This picture has been sitting up on the wall for months. Months. To my knowledge, it haven't failed. Not on his own anyway. Okay? Man, this picture fell. And one of the people that was there, she had a little sip in her. I ain't gonna lie, she had a little sip in her. But she was like, oh no, She said, oh, no, This because when the picture fell, the picture made a loud noise. So much to the point to where you thought like a human fell. It sounded like a human fell, like somebody fell upstairs or somebody fell on the porch or something. So we looking for, when we turned around, like it grabbed everybody's attention. When that picture fell, it grabbed everybody's attention, man. And when I tell you, we looked around and we ain't see nothing, like we ain't see nobody fall or nothing. She said it was a picture and she watched that picture fall. Man, we picked that picture up and she was scared for a minute. I said, well, you know what? I said, there ain't nobody but Junior. And she got, oh, no, it's time to go. It's time to go. I'm like, it ain't nobody but Junior. She tried to be sensitive about it for a minute. You know what I'm saying? So she tried to hold her cool about it. And she, she apologized and everything. And she turned around, looked at another picture of Junior and said, no, I gotta go. She said, I gotta go. She got up, man, to get ready to leave, right? And so Junior told me, y'all, he was like, now at this point, I know it's Junior, because I told her. I said, there ain't nobody but Junior. I said, Junior been around here lately, you know what I'm saying, all day long. I said, Junior been around here all day long. And she couldn't, really grab what I was saying. And I get it. And so what I did was I looked at the picture that Junior told me to look at. And he's such a jokester, man. He's just a jokester. He was just playing too much. That's all it was. And I knew he was playing too much. I knew it. And it kind of made me laugh. I didn't take it, you know what I'm saying, no type of way. But I'm going to tell you like this right here. When I seen this picture right here, look, this was a picture right here that I seen when scared her off. This was a picture. Look, Junior said, look at the picture. And I looked, it was like, he was laughing at her, dude. It was like he was laughing at her. You know what I'm saying? When I looked at that picture, like I could see him laughing at her. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a picture that fell. I ain't know what picture fell. I knew one of them had fell, but I just didn't know which one. We pick it up, and it's him right there with this real big Chuck E. Cheese smile. You know what I'm saying? So that was quite funny to me. But see, here's a point that I'm trying to tell y'all. You know what I mean? Because, on the road to recovery from stuff like this right here, you have to find things like that right there to lighten the load for you, baby. You gotta find those things to lighten the load for you. Because, and in order for you to do it again, you have to be in tune with self. Because if I wasn't in tune with self, that probably would have scared the mess out of me too. It just fell out of nowhere, y'all. We ain't have nothing in there in that room that could reach wind wise that will blow that picture off the wall. We talking about a picture. That picture is just as tall as me. That picture is almost 6 feet tall. That's almost a 6 foot tall picture. Almost 4 foot wide, between 3 and 4 foot wide. You know what I'm saying? So it's a pretty big picture. It's like a poster almost. You know what I'm saying? That fell. And so, like I said, man, that in doing this, it take like I said, it take a lot of practice. It take a lot of work. It take a lot of work. You got to be able to put in the work. It take a lot of practice. It take a lot of work. And it take a lot of knowing too. You can't think about this stuff. You got to know. You know what I'm saying? You got to know. You got to trust your spirit guide enough to know that is what it is. Because I'm going to tell you something. My dog was in that pen when I got ready to clean out that pen, and that butterfly was in that pen. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. The dog didn't approach it. The butterfly didn't fly away. You know what I mean? Like, that right there is the stuff that you have to look at when you start talking about the spirit end of it. See, that's why I always, when I get on here and I make these videos, I try to keep my focus away from the physical part. But see, here's the thing. You gonna have to be able to do both of them. You gotta have to be able to do both of them. And sometimes your physical can overwhelm you so much to the point to where you won't be able to connect on the spirit realm with your loved one or your child or whoever done passed over to that side of the world. You won't be able to get with them if you have a low vibration about yourself, because you won't be able to feel it. You know what I'm saying? You won't be able to know it. Now, see, me, I couldn't physically see it. It's a hit or miss at times. Sometimes I could see it physically. Sometimes physically, on the spirit realm. And then sometimes I can only just hear on the spirit realm. It's all going to be on the spirit realm, okay? But you're going to have to learn how to work in between both worlds. So you don't become crazy at this right here. I'm trying to tell y'all. So when y'all lose y'all loved one or something like that on the physical end, yeah, you're going to feel down. You're going to feel out, especially in the beginning. Ain't nothing nobody going to be able to tell you in the beginning. Only thing you could do is go sit with those people. That's it. And you can help out as much as you can. Because I'm going to tell you, man, listen, when people get those calls and you have to get sat in the room with something that look like this, huh? You in some trouble. Somebody in some trouble. If they ever called you down there to the doctor in the hospital and you seen a box of these in that little room, oh yeah, somebody in some trouble. Not always, but in many cases, somebody is in some trouble. Okay? For me, I didn't have a chance to see that. That was one of the things too that I would say too about my spirit guide. I didn't get a chance to go through none of that. I didn't have to go through that room. You know what I'm saying? That was a blessing for me. You ain't have to tell me. I seen it already. So I didn't have to go to that room and see that. It was a couple of things that my guys bypassed on my end for me not to be able to see, in order for me to, I guess, try to come with the fastest recovery, I guess. I don't know. I'm just assuming that right there because, like I said, along the path, it was just certain things that was in a way that would prohibit me from seeing certain stuff. You get down there to the hospital, the dude that take the body into the morgue or do whatever he's doing at the morgue at the hospital, he like, dude, no, I don't like, and let's be clear, they cannot turn you down, okay? I could have pressed that issue if I wanted to. If I wanted to see my son that night and identify my son that night, I could have. Okay, so they can't do it, but I used better judgment and didn't do that right there. So that right there, I'm saying that right there to say this right here. That was a guide right there. See, I wasn't looking at this right here at the time. And I didn't fight back against it because what he was doing was protecting me. And immediately, that's the way I seen it. When that doctor came out that room, when we went down there to view Junior that night of the incident, when he came out and told me, like, the look on his face, the everything, his whole energy, his everything, he tried to be as nice as he could and tell me, like, if you seen it there, then you seen what you need to see. Like, don't go back there and look at him like that. Like, don't do it. Like, and he was just flat out, he was like, there's nothing there. On the nice end, I'm trying to be as nice as I can, but there's nothing there. I knew he wasn't lying. So I didn't want to see that again. That was a guy that pulled me away from there. So another thing too, the fact that, like I said once before, you got your closed coffin. You know what I mean? Your closed coffin. The fact that I didn't have to see him like that physically in that coffin, and it was wrapped up really nice with a picture of him on there. And so for the people that are going to the funerals and stuff, I really think that's the way to go. You get you a nice, beautiful picture of your loved one and you wrap that coffin with them on there versus having that coffin closed in front of your face. That does something to you. when you looking at your loved one and they doing this right here and your loved one going down inside the coffin, not the ground. Because when they get ready to close that coffin, they do this right here on the corner of it. Your loved one is lowered inside the coffin first, and then they cover them up with, all four corners of the sheet. That's very hard to watch, right? And so then they come with the slow closing of the coffin. That's hard to watch. You see what I'm saying? So if, in my opinion, if people want to continue on with these funerals and stuff like that, hey, I say get the coffin wrapped with one of the best pictures you could find, so you don't have to see that. It make it just that much more easier to recover. I didn't know that at the time, but at least for me, it helped, because I don't have to look at the last time I seen my son was in a coffin. I do remember the last time I seen him, they was putting him, I actually watched them reel him down inside the ground. I stood there and watched that. I stood there and visioned that right there. I stood there. I ain't leave that cemetery until I seen them put him in the ground, and when I seen them cover the dirt up, throw the dirt back on top of them. You know what I'm saying? So, but that right there was completely on me, though. You know what I'm saying? So I bite the bullet on that one, because that was on me. But it's stuff like that you see that's so tough to look at. It's probably even tough for some of y'all to even listen to. Just imagine seeing it and going through it. So that right there is where I was. I was looking and deep in diving inside the deep end of the dark ends of it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wanted to see that, and I understand that, but I had to go the whole way. You know what I'm saying? So now, when you fast forward months later, and like I said, you done seen that you just can't stay there. Your spirit won't allow you to stay there. You get to enjoy times like I just had yesterday. I mean, that's the best y'all gonna get. You know what I mean? It's like that's the best y'all gonna get at that time. You know what I'm saying? For afterwards, dealing with it and trying to cope with that loss. You know what I'm saying? That's the best you gonna get at the time. And it get a little better as time go on. It get a little better. It get a little better, and it get a little better. I can see that. But you're gonna have to have patience, and you're gonna have to have some discipline. You see what I'm saying? And the reason why I say do this right here on your own is because when you depend on somebody else's support and they let you down, it sets you back. You see what I'm saying? Because you was dependent on their support. So you don't depend on nobody else's support. I recommend that you do this right here on your own. You go through all the heartache, the pain, the whatever you got to go through, and then you bounce back. That's what we're going to do. We're going to bounce back. You know what I mean? We're going to bounce back. And for some, it take a little longer than others. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to bounce back. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, I still have my moments. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times when I get on these lives, I be teaching myself something. I be teaching myself stuff. I be telling myself new stuff that I haven't even told myself yet, but I done told it to y'all over this live, and it just come to you. So when you get into a little flow of something right there, you know what I'm saying, it start to feel a little better. Well, that's the same thing when you working on the spirit end. Once you get into a flow of seeing certain things, knowing that certain things isn't scary just because you hear paranormal stuff, what they might call paranormal stuff. Just because you hear that stuff, listen, stop being scared of that, because if you're trying to get to that level to where you still trying to connect with the spirit of your child or loved one or whoever that passed on, if you are scared of that right there, it won't come, but you won't be here to be able to know what that means. You can't be scared of it. Okay? Can't do nothing to you. And in this case right here, like I said, I had to tell this right here to my son's siblings, my kids, his brothers and sisters, like, hey, listen, if y'all hear stuff like that, please don't run. Like don't shy away from it. It's a little boy. He ain't what harm can he do to you? It was your little brother, you know what I'm saying? Or it's a little boy with little kid energy, you know what I'm saying? So it just don't feel right on the physical end to hear stuff that that did nobody move on the physical end. The physical end tell you that, hey, wait a minute, action gives you a opposing reaction. You know what I'm saying? That's the Newton's law. You know what I'm saying? For every action, you get a opposing reaction. So, because you didn't give the initial action and you heard something rattle in the kitchen, or something fell off the counter, or something fell over, or maybe that light flickered, or maybe you heard little tiny little footsteps running around. You probably heard a little giggling or something like that right there, man. You cannot be scared of that kind of stuff, man. Especially if you know what type of loved one you dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Because what that right there gonna do is gonna keep you separated, and it's gonna keep you in your grief period. When you know that that's them there, and you can connect on the spirit level with them, that right there is a good spot to be. That's a good spot to be. Stop letting these people tell you that that if you hearing stuff like that, and it's all, and you seeing stuff, and if you talking about spirits, and that is demonic and it's evil and it's all that, that's baloney. It's baloney. It's not evil. It's who you are. That's what it is. It's who you are. It's who you are in the inside, man. That's who you supposed to be. And you haven't lived that way in a very long time. So the part that sucks about this right here is when you got to learn that right there on the physical end, learn how to be on the spirit end. You know what I mean? That's the part right there, the transformation into that right there, the trying to get this thing down packed. That's what the work is. But you gotta listen to certain things, and that's what I mean by you gotta pay attention to everything around you. Like, everything is gonna be paid attention. Once you start to tap into that spirit realm, everything around you just gonna automatically, you're gonna pay attention to. You're gonna start just the little things that nobody would think of. Somebody else would have walked back there and said, look at that, go a butterfly. Wouldn't have thought nothing else of it. You see what I'm saying? But me, I'm a little bit more intuitive about it. So I want to see what's going on with this butterfly, what it means. Just like those white butterflies. Y'all seen them white butterflies around? Sometimes y'all see about 4, 5 of them. You know, it'd be a bunch of them little white butterflies that you see floating around here that's real zippy. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look up what that means. Look up what that means. Pay attention to your spirit guides around you. They're going to tell you everything. They're going to tell you before that person get the chance to open up their mouth, they lying. That spirit going to tell you everything. You will not be able to hide from these. Yeah, you can. But once you in tune with that spirit, it's going to tell you much more than what you bargained for. I'm telling you, I promise you. It's going to tell you much more than what you bargained for. So what I do is I tend to take that spirit that tells me stuff, and I listen to it sometimes. And again, it's not going to tell you everything that you want to hear. I'm going to guarantee you, not guarantee you, I want to guarantee you that it's not going to tell you the stuff that you want to hear all the time. It's going to tell you some downright raw stuff that only you going to be able to hear. You know what I'm saying? Only you going to know when it's real or not. And that's why it's so important to be in tune with that spirit part of yourself, so you could know these things. It will no longer be a guess. It would no longer be you know, hypothesis. It won't be a thought, you know, that's just somewhere far in the back of your mind. This stuff right here gonna be on point, and it's gonna be true, and you are going to know it. Stop tricking yourself out physically with this right here. You're gonna trick yourself out with this right here physically. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said you gotta learn that right there, because at times you're gonna have to be able to bounce between realms. You see what I'm saying? So, like, on the physical realm, remember I told y'all the past couple days I haven't really been feeling too well, you know, to speak on anything. But at the same token, I wasn't able to connect with Junior either. Even though I thought about him, I wasn't able to connect with him for those days either. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I knew at that point that right there would be like a checkpoint for me. Like, if I can't connect with him, then it's something that I'm not noticing, probably somewhere in my subconscious somewhere, that I'm doing wrong because I'm not able to connect with him. See, that on that realm right there, that realm never stops. That realm, that spirit realm, it never stops. Where on the physical realm, you go to sleep at night, right? The physical body go to sleep at night, but that spirit is not in that body when you go to sleep. When you call yourself in that deep sleep and you wake up and you could have sworn you was there, that dream felt so real. That's because that's what you're doing. You traveling. You traveling when you sleep. So that spirit never, never is endless. You see what I'm saying? And the fact that I can't get in touch with that spirit physically, you know what I'm saying? When I know I got the ability to do that, that right there is what I would use as a pointer. I need to check my spirit. I need to do a little work, maybe a little meditation. Maybe I need to go ground or something. You know what I'm saying? Something ain't right. So when I grounded yesterday and everything, that's probably why I was able to see so many different things after I grounded. It could be. I don't know, y'all. Like I said, this right here is a journey that I'm new to. I'm new to this right here. I just share with y'all, man. But again, I told y'all I didn't want this right here to be really long. I'm not gonna make this right here long, drawn out thing. I'm about to get up off of here. If I come back with anything else later on, I'll let y'all know. Again, go over there to my Hey Uncle Ronnie page at YouTube and subscribe to it and like it and share it, because that's where I'm gonna start putting my stuff at, y'all. Another thing too, one of these days, I'm gonna open up a Q&A. You know, if y'all got any questions, anything y'all want to know, you know, if it's too personal, I'll let you know. But really, there really is no off limit questions or anything. But I'll do a Q&A for y'all, you know, if y'all want to. And let's all have a good day, okay? Let's all have a blessed and prosperous day. Y'all be good.